Well, first of all, I want to thank the fans that came out. I thought it was a really impressive sign. I don't know what the numbers were, the percentage was, but when you're able to travel on the road and get that type of support, I think it's special. A couple other things, from a discipline standpoint, and just some of the things that we try to win each game. Field position, we were able to win that. Turnover battle, we were able to win that. Penalty battle, we had 2 penalties. We won that, and then the explosive play battle. So obviously, when you're able to win statistics like that, you got a chance. A couple things that kind of stand out to me. I thought Josh McPherson played really well on special teams. It seemed like he made every tackle on special teams. One of the things that's kind of unique in my career, Daylon Darien played offense, played defense, and played special teams tonight, which was pretty cool. We had a lot of guys, able to get in the game and gain some experience, and played up to the standard, which was really good to see. So, Tommy Stevens, a bunch of yards. I think he may have 4 touchdowns as well.
3 passing.
Yeah. So just some really good things overall. I thought we played a complete game. Offense, defense, and special teams all played well enough to win. And I think we're trending in the right direction right now. We're getting better, and get on the highway and head back to Happy Valley. But very appreciative of the fans and the support we get. Very appreciative of you guys making the trip to come cover us. And I'm very just pleased with the program overall and the progress that we're making. On the radio, I just got off the radio, and I think this is the 3rd time in Big Ten. The history of Penn State being in the Big Ten that we finished with back-to-back 10-win seasons, so that's pretty cool as well. So there's some progress being made. We still got a lot of work to do, but I'm happy with kind of where we're at.
Questions for Coach?
James, anything to drink?
James, you mentioned the 10-win season.
Sorry.
To come from where you came from in 2014 to now, could you even imagine that you'd have 2 10-win seasons in such a short amount of time?
Obviously not at the time, but yeah, I felt like this was a possibility. How long it was going to take us to get back to this situation, I'm not sure. Obviously, it didn't happen fast enough for a lot of people, but for us looking back at it and really kind of having perspective, I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased with where we're at. The exciting thing for me is I think we're getting better. And I think we're just going to continue to get better. We got some young guys. I'm really excited to kind of get into this period right now, to continue developing the young guys. You look at some of the second-team guys that got in the game tonight and how well they played. We're going to have some of these developmental practices. We're going to have one of them. I just told the guys we're going to have one of our young guy practices in the stadium. Allow those guys to go in and scrimmage. I don't know if our lawn, Herb will be excited about that, but we're going to go in the stadium and get after it. I think that'll be good. But that's what I'm excited about. I just think we keep getting better. I think the staff's getting better. I think the players are getting better. It's fun right now.
James, Tommy has been a factor often when he has played, but there have also been 5 games where he hasn't really appeared in that slash role on offense at all. How do you decide how to use him and when to use him?
Yeah, I think we have packages for him in certain field zones and certain down and distances. So we have something in each game, and depending on how the game is going, Joe feels comfortable putting him in. Obviously, when you're in control like we were tonight, that helps. It's typically a high red zone or package for him as well, and in down and distance situations that makes sense. We got a pretty good quarterback in Trace McSorley. We got a damn good quarterback as well in our backup quarterback in Tommy Stevens. But you have to be careful. Sometimes when you get into a 2-quarterback system, it can mess up the flow. So I think we've handled it pretty well this year. And I could see this package continuing to grow for us.
James, how important is the completeness of your performance now at this stage of the season, getting back to that and heading into the postseason?
I'm sorry, say it again.
How important is having that complete performance once again as you head into the postseason?
Yeah, I think whenever you can play well at the end of the season and feel like you're trending in the right direction is positive. And right now we need some time off. It'll be good for the players to get some downtime. It's been a long season. The Big Ten and this side of the conference specifically is brutal. So getting some downtime, focusing on their academics, getting some of those guys' weight back up and get them in the hot tubs and the cold tubs and massages and then be smart about how we practice during the bowl period. So I like where we're at, but I still think we got a lot of room for improvement. I still think we can get better. So that's really kind of the exciting part about all of this.
Where are you at mentally on the spectrum between celebrating 10 wins and thinking about what might have been with this season?
I'm excited about being 1-0 tonight. I'm excited about winning 10 wins. And I'm going to focus on the positive, not the woulda, shoulda, couldas, because we can't affect them, right?
No.
Yeah, no, we can't.
James,
What changed the most for you guys after Michigan State? You seemed a little disappointed right after that game, maybe almost a little angry. Is there anything you can point to going forward from that?
Guys, let's be honest. That game was a mess. I mean, we didn't play well. It was a perfect storm of probably the best way to describe it. It was a perfect storm. I mean, when you sit in a locker room for 3.5 hours, you're in bad weather. I mean, none of those things are excuses. We didn't play well enough, but it was a perfect storm of issues. So yeah, was I not happy after that game? No doubt about it. But I'm happy tonight. I'd prefer to talk about tonight.
This is a great recruiting area. You would know. Does a result like this matter in the recruiting battle, or is that always just an individual case-by-case basis with each guy and family? Yeah,
for me to say that that winning doesn't factor in, that would not be accurate. It factors in. There's no doubt about it, and I think I've stated many times that we have to do great in our footprint, and we'll also go outside of our footprint, but it's going to start in our footprint and our state, and then the surrounding states as well. We got a lot of really good relationships here, personal relationships, professional relationships, guys we've known for a long time. It was really cool for me to come back. I mean, I saw a bunch of the guys, that work here that I haven't seen in a long time. So it was great. But yeah, there's no doubt that factors into it. But I don't think it's the end-all be-all.
Yeah, another thing, if I could, the Big Ten would obviously love for this to be a rivalry rather than Michigan State, which never really fit. Can it ever be a rivalry? I'm sure you would like it not to be games like this every time, but
yeah, I mean that's I'm not sure. You're speaking on the Big Ten's behalf.
They're going to make this. They're going to make this in the Rutgers game that I think try to shoehorn it into a rivalry.
Yeah, that's.
You're okay with it?
I'm focused on Penn State. I'm focused on Penn State. I've said to you guys before, I don't think rivalries are something that are created by people sitting in an office. Rivalries are things that have been established for a long time. No one needs to tell you. Been playing for a long time. Competitive, both sides. Rivalries are not created in an office or a cubicle. They're established. Everybody knows what they are. So I'm worried about Penn State and all those other things. I'm not overly concerned with. I'm focused on our locker room. I'm focused on our coaches. I'm focused on our guys finishing strong academically. People obviously bring up Pitt. I get that one. It's regional. It's in our state. We've played for a long time. There's been a gap and all that kind of stuff. But to have conversations about games that people are trying to create them into something that I don't think they are. Maybe 40 years from now, I hope I'm still sitting here, and maybe 40 years from now we have a different discussion. But it just seems like since we've been here, people have been trying to pound down our throats what games should be this or games should be that, and to me that's not how it works.
James, what do you guys do as a staff from here? What do you do?
You guys just couldn't wait for me to shut up.
What do you do as a staff from here? You talked about getting the players a little bit of time off, but do you hit recruiting hard? How do you?
Yeah, there's no time off for the staff. I mean, our weeks are already scheduled now. I think you guys know this. So every possible bowl that we could go to, we already have the entire schedule. When we're practicing, when we're recruiting, we already got it all set. There's probably about 9 different variations right now that we think could play out. But that's already been set. That's already been emailed to the players. That's already been emailed to the coaches, wives. And then that allowed us to kind of plan where we're going. So, we're on the road tomorrow. The guys, have time obviously to finish strong academically, and then we'll start kind of working some practices in there as well. And then hopefully I would assume by next Sunday or so, we'll probably know, I would think.
Sunday afternoon.
Sunday afternoon we'll know where we're going, but the plan's got to start. We can't wait.
James, with
Time
your
for two more.
history here, did you have to suppress some emotion? And is this particular sweet for you?
I mean, no. I mean, it's nice to come back. This place was very good to me. This is my first big break in the profession. I was at Idaho State, and a buddy of mine was on the staff, and I would have never got the job, but I was home visiting my mom on spring break, and I drove up and interviewed because I was right down the street. They wouldn't have flew me in from Idaho State to interview. So this is my first big break. Ron Vanderlinden was very good to me. Ralph Friedgen was very good to me. Debbie Yao was very good to me. Had a great experience. We won 31 games in 3 years. I had a great experience at the University of Maryland, and I'm forever indebted, for that opportunity. But it wasn't, coming back was nice to be back, but I'm focused on Penn State and what we need to do to get better and what we need to do to grow, but I got a chance to see some people, which was really good, that I haven't seen in a long time, boosters and people like that. So that was nice, but my focus is, on Penn State.
Finish with
How
Derek.
does the early signing period
Or
affect
not.
this period from the end of the regular season to the bowl game compared to how it used to be?
It doesn't really change a whole lot. I think the early signing period has obviously changed some things, but at this point, until you get into the next cycle when you can start bringing kids on official visits and stuff in the summer and things like that, I don't think it changes a whole lot for us. Because to be honest with you, most staffs have got their classes almost completed at this point. There was somebody else you want to ask?
How big of a step do you think your front seven took today, especially with the three fourth down stops and the
Yeah, I thought the fourth down stops were huge. I felt like we matched up pretty well, against Maryland on offense and defense up front, and I thought we played well. But yeah, I thought the fourth down stops were all. I don't know if I've ever seen, 3 fourth down stops like that in short yardage situations. I would you kind of put them into the turnover category in some ways. I'm proud of the progress we're making. I really am. But like I've already said before, I'm probably more excited that I really believe this is just the beginning for us. I really feel like we can just continue to get better. And that's every aspect of the program. That's the coaches, that's the players, that's the trainers, that's the doctors, that's everything. And what we need to do to continue to build this program, because it's at this level, it's very, very difficult. It's very, very challenging. So we just got to keep scraping and clawing and scratching for every little inch that we can find. Because to be honest with you, for where we want to go, it's still going to need to be a slow, steady, crawl to get where we want to go. And I'd make the argument it's going to be harder, these next steps than what we've already done. So, should be an interesting ride. I look forward to taking it with you guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So when's bowl media day if you have everything?
Yeah, that's not on the calendar.